Most comparisons between Surfshark and Bitdefender open by telling you these are not really the same product, and then they stop there. That is true. It is also the least useful place to stop. Thousands of people every month are still trying to choose between these two, and the reason is simple. Both are sold to you as the one subscription that covers everything. Only one of them actually is. So which one should you actually buy? That turns on something most people never check before they hand over a card. These two are not competing on the same ground at all. One of them is built around a scanner. The other is built around a tunnel. And that single difference decides the whole thing. The reason that gap exists is more interesting than either company would like. It also flips the answer completely for one large group of people watching this. You might well be in that group. So let us go through what each one actually does, what it really costs once you add up the parts, and what people report after the trial ends and the bill arrives. Everything here comes from somewhere you can go and check. The independent lab results from AV-Comparatives and AV-TEST. Both vendors own product pages, the complaint threads on both sides, including the Better Business Bureau file. That last one is the part most reviews skip entirely. By the end, you will know which one fits your situation. And there is one question in the middle that settles it outright if you are on an iPhone. Let me start with the thing that will stop you paying twice for the same protection. Number 1. Where Bitdefender genuinely wins. Bitdefender's whole business is catching malware, and the independent testing labs back that up year after year. In the AV-Comparatives malware protection test from March 2026, run against 10,000 live samples, Bitdefender recorded a 99.97% online protection rate. That was the highest score in that round. ESET came second, Kaspersky third. Those margins look tiny written down. Across 10,000 real samples, they are not tiny at all. AV-TEST tells the same story from a different angle. In their January and February 2026 consumer evaluation, Bitdefender scored a perfect 6 out of 6 for protection, performance, and usability. It repeated that in June, full marks in all 3 categories. That third category matters more than people expect. A scanner that catches everything and turns your laptop into a brick is not protection, it is a punishment. Testers measured Bitdefender adding around 8 seconds to boot time, where the nearest rival added 12 and sitting near 0.1% of processor use when idle. Light and still first on detection. There is a coverage point here too. Bitdefender's own product page lists complete protection for Android, Windows, Mac and iOS. All 4. Hold that thought because it comes back shortly. So if the malware scanner is the reason you are buying anything at all, this one wins that argument on the evidence. Number 2. Where Surfshark genuinely wins. Surfshark started life as a VPN, and it is still a very good one. Its homepage leads with unlimited devices, and that is not marketing language, it is the actual policy. One subscription, every phone, every laptop, the tablet nobody uses, your partner's machine. No seat counting. The privacy tooling around it is real as well. The plan comparison lists an ad blocker, a cookie pop-up blocker, rotating IP addresses and multi-hop connections on every tier. Independent reviewers agree on the ranking. Security.org, writing in October 2025, put it plainly, saying Surfshark outshines Bitdefender's VPN on features, privacy and speed. Users back that up in volume. Surfshark holds a 4.3 out of 5 on Trustpilot across more than 27,000 reviews, according to TechRadar in April 2026. The live listing this month shows a 4-star rating across nearly 31,000. Around 9% of those are 1-star, so it is not universal love. But that is a genuinely strong score for a company selling a subscription. The antivirus is the newer half. VPN Overview reported in August that it has now been verified by industry lab tests and handles widespread and zero-day malware effectively. That is real, and it is an improvement. It is also a much shorter track record than a decade of Bitdefender results. Reviewers and users widely report that the scanner is built on the Avira engine underneath, rather than something Surfshark wrote itself. So if privacy across a pile of devices is the actual problem, this is the one that solves it without a second bill. Number 3. The iPhone question nobody answers. I found this in the comments under one of the top videos on this exact comparison. Somebody asked whether they needed it for iOS devices. No reply. Ever. It is the single most important question on this page, and it just sits there. Here is the answer. Surfshark Antivirus does not run on iOS at all. It covers Windows 10 and later, Windows on ARM, Android 6 and later, and macOS Monterey and newer. That is confirmed on Surfshark's own antivirus features page, and by Cyber News and All About Cookies. Support's stated reason is that Apple already restricts what a scanner can reach, and the App Store limits antivirus apps. The Surfshark VPN does run on your iPhone. The scanner does not exist there. Now look at Bitdefender's page again. Android, Windows, Mac and iOS listed right under the product name. So if your main device is an iPhone or an iPad, half of what you would be paying Surfshark for is not available to you. That does not automatically make Bitdefender the answer, and I will come back to why. It does mean the comparison is not the one you think you are making. Number 4. What it actually costs you, and I do not mean the sticker. Prices on both of these move constantly, so a number I say today is wrong by next quarter. The structure is what stays true, and the structure is where the money hides. Bitdefender Total Security includes a VPN. It is capped at 200 megabytes per day, per device. That is on Bitdefender's own page. In their own words, in large type. 200 megabytes is roughly 10 minutes of video, or a heavy morning of browsing. You also cannot choose your server on that tier. It picks for you. To lift that cap, you move up to Bitdefender Premium Security, or you buy their Premium VPN separately. PC Mag put it exactly that way in April, saying the upgrade removes the limits and frees you from 200 megabytes a day. Surfshark Split works the other way round. Its cheapest tier is VPN only. Antivirus arrives one step up on the tier called 1, alongside their breach alerts and private search. That is the whole trade in one line. With Bitdefender you get an excellent scanner and a VPN you will outgrow in a week. With Surfshark you get an unlimited VPN and a scanner that is merely good. Either way, wanting both at full strength means paying more than the headline. So if you only ever wanted one of the two halves, buy the company that specializes in that half and stop reading the bundle page. Number 5. What happens after you buy? This is where the reviews stop being flattering, and it is the part worth knowing before you hand over a card. Bitdefender's recurring complaint is billing. Trustpilot's own summary flags difficulty managing auto-renewal and billing. The pattern people describe is an introductory year at one price and a renewal at a much higher one. In one documented case, a renewal invoice of 142 Canadian dollars, while a $50 promotion was still running on the site. Their Better Business Bureau profile carries a consumer alert and sits at 1.19 out of 5 across 21 reviews there. In a response on that file, the company states refund requests may be submitted within 24 hours of the transaction date. Reddit threads through late 2025 describe disputes after automatic renewals. In fairness, the same sources cut both ways. Bitdefender's overall Trustpilot rating is 4 stars across thousands of reviews. Plenty of people report fast, clean refunds. And the company publicly documents 4 separate ways to switch auto-renewal off. Surfshark's weak spot is different. It is support. G2 scores its live customer support at 7.3 out of 10, the lowest of everything they measured on the product, and below competitors like CyberGhost. One reviewer documented emailing twice and getting no reply. Several Reddit threads through 2025 describe connections dropping unexpectedly. One more honest note. The review field for the Surfshark scanner specifically is thin. One comparison site shows 72 reviews for Bitdefender and none at all for Surfshark Antivirus. Thin evidence is still evidence, and I would rather tell you it is thin than pretend there is a consensus. So whichever way you go, put the renewal date in your calendar the day you buy. That single habit removes most of what people complain about on both sides. The verdict. 3 situations, because most comparisons only offer 2.5 the people watching fit neither. If the strongest possible malware protection on a Windows machine is the point, especially across a family of computers, take Bitdefender. The lab record is not a close call, the system impact is genuinely low, and you can treat the VPN as a small bonus rather than a feature. Just budget separately if you want real VPN use. If you want privacy across a lot of devices, one bill, one login, and a scanner that is good enough rather than best in class, take Surfshark 1. Unlimited devices is the quiet reason most people who choose it stay. And if your main device is an iPhone or an iPad, the antivirus question mostly answers itself, because iOS blocks that kind of scanning regardless of whose name is on it. That leaves the VPN as the real decision, and on that alone, Surfshark is the stronger product. So, the whole thing in a sentence. Bitdefender protects a computer better, Surfshark protects a person across more devices, and the mistake is buying either one expecting it to do both jobs at full strength. I have put links to everything in the description. Some of them are affiliate links, so I get a small commission if you use them at no extra cost to you. Now I am curious about one thing. Which half were you actually shopping for when you started looking, the antivirus or the VPN? Tell me in the comments, because I suspect most people came for one and got sold the other.